that's the minute they stop being a refugee. That's the minute they stand on their own feet, they can build their life for themselves. And I also saw my own eyes, like how someone from Nepal or someone from Africa, someone from, Myanmar, wherever they come from, while making the cup of yogurt, how they become friends and family and be part of that. So being from the region and seeing what happened to Yazidi community in the Sinjar Mountains when they were attacked and all those girls were kidnapped, I saw the picture on New York Times and I just thought that mother was calling on me and I had to do something. And start working and going to UNHCR and IRC, find out that even though I was involved with this, but I didn't know the depth of this. Just like you said, there are 60 million people out there, displaced or refugees. They are in the camps. Some of them, they live in 15, 17 years. And the way that we are handling all these refugee crises, which is the biggest since World War II, is with the conditions of World War II in 1940s and 50s. I went to Lesbos, for example, and I look at how people are coming from the journey from Turkey to that island, which is, some of them die. We saw some pictures. With my business mind, I said, well, I could do this way. I could get the hotels to do this. I could get the restaurants to do this. I can do register better. So we need to bring the business and innovation into this right away now, while all these amazing organizations are, handling it. So I found a tent and started doing the research because I saw the lack of research out there. And I started doing the studies of what is the refugees' economic impact in the community. So that studies keep going on. And I also asked my friends in the community, businesses, to come and join. So we created Tent Pledge. And honored to say that we have about over 12 companies like MasterCards, UPS, Airbnb, IKEA, Western Union, Henry Schein, like list goes on. The companies that care about these issues joining the 10th Pledge. And so we're hoping with this room there are a lot of good CEOs that cares about this and come into this biggest humanitarian crisis and help the government, help the NGOs, but we cannot live this only to the governments and NGOs. We have to bring business minds and innovators into this.
We were talking about this backstage, but a young man who comes from an immigrant family who used to work with us is now working with the IRC in Turkey. And he told me that they filmed several thousand Syrians as they came into Turkey. Turkey, as you probably know, has by far the largest number of Syrian refugees. There are more than 2 million there. Although tiny Lebanon has about 1 million and Jordan has 650,000 or so, plus a lot of Egyptians and others. So they're those two small countries probably are under the most stress. But he asked people literally coming off the boat and filmed them, hundreds and hundreds of them, what were you doing before you left your home? And they were overwhelmingly small business people, workers, and not a small number of professionals. And I think it's important that I know what caused all the fear and reluctance. It was Paris, because 6,000 people went from Europe to ISIS land. About 1,500 came home. If 1% of them was radicalized and sort of sneaked back in with evil intentions, that's about how many people it took to kill all those people in Paris. So people are thinking like that. But the tradition of the Syrians is amazing in America. Most Syrians live, or the largest Syrian settlements are in Cleveland and Dearborn, Michigan. And if you went up there and said something bad about them, you could get in a fight, not with a Syrian, with someone who's Irish or African American or Hispanic or Polish, because they are such a part of the community. They have made such amazing contributions. And I think your vouching for that is important, because the truth is the big loser in this over the long run is going to be Syria. This is an enormous opportunity for Americans. Detroit has 10,000 empty, structurally sound houses. 10,000. And a lot of jobs to be had repairing those houses. But Detroit just came out of bankruptcy, and the mayor's trying to do an innovative sort of urban homesteading program there. But it just gives you an example of what could be done. And I think any of us who've ever had any personal experience with either Syrian Americans or Syrian refugees think it's a pretty good deal. Do you have any idea just generally how many you think America should take and how many we could take?
I listened, Madam Albright, the other day, actually on the first CGI. She said, we're not doing enough. And I was in Germany just after that was, looking at Hamburg. Hamburg took almost 90,000 refugees. And I was with the mayor. In 2 days, we looked at the refugee centers, what they did. They were prepared to take 500, 600, That's what they were doing for years. Now they took 90,000. I think one thing is extremely important in my observation, is important to point out. The integration has to happen in both ways. And this message needs to be given to the people who's coming, to the communities as well. Because from my experience, I was successful, if I am, is because